Alright, looks like we are all ready to go, so gonna pass it on over to Giygas Blues for Slime Song.
Alright, so this is Slime Song. It's an indie game on Steam on the Nintendo Switch. It's also coming out to other platforms, PS4, Xbox One. We got a nice little Slime Song plush on the couch. You can donate to win that as well. We got Fabraz, the developer, on commentary, and Munchie Koopa's behind me. And,
Hello.
I haven't done a run with dev commentary before, so I'm just gonna jump right in, and I guess we'll go from there. I'm not gonna start the timer yet. There's a special mode called speedrun mode, and let me turn that chat window off too. There's a lot of cool features that Fabraz added to this game that are very friendly. Let's see.
You're not gonna speedrun with the chaos mode on?
Chaos mode. I would have to like connect to like a Calathon Twitch account. I guess I could do that, right?
Yeah, but I think that would kill your time.
Where's the chat
For people who
window
don't
again?
know, it's chaos mode allows the chat to essentially type in commands to change the level design as he plays.
Yeah, that's. Do you remember where the chat window is under in settings? Because you added so many settings.
Extras and then Twitch settings.
Extras and Twitch settings.
So you have to go into extras.
There we go. Twitch mode.
There we go.
Much better. Okay, so speedrun mode. Has anyone ever completed a no death run?
No.
Yeah. Good luck to them. Anyway, so when I click start on this, it's gonna do a countdown in the game as well, so I don't know if you want to follow along with that, Tech. Okay? So I'm gonna press start in 3 seconds, and then there's gonna be a countdown in game, okay? And start. And wait for the countdown. 2, 1, and go. Alright, so this is a 2D platformer. Basically, most of the levels are going to be single screen. There's going to be some where they're going to have scrolling levels, and each level is comprised of 4 single screens. The scrolling levels will be, like, they'll compromise a 4 level set itself, so it'll be 1 level in those sets. So every 4 levels, I'm going to go to the next level. You're going to see me dash and air dash a lot. I am using a different member of Slime-san's family. I'm using Kawaii-san, just because Kawaii-san has the ability to float, and it allows us to get through a majority of the levels a lot quicker than other members of Slime-san's family. You're gonna see me use some air dashing. There's a thing called I assume it's called phasing, and it also slows down time.
Yeah, the phasing allows him to move through any of the green platforms, and any of the red platforms or walls that you've seen will kill him. And Slime-san, as you see, can climb walls as well.
Yeah, the slowdown of the phasing or morphing that we mentioned sometimes is kind of a fun one, just because it can actually kind of be used as a crutch for a lot of players.
Right.
You know, the time slowdown actually helps to slow down platforms that move around, but as like a speedrunner, I guess you want to use it as little as possible.
I use it as a crutch on 1 or 2 levels just because it would be extremely difficult
Oh yeah.
to complete them otherwise. So there's a thing I do, like every time I touch a wall, it resets the jump ability. So sometimes I'll just briefly touch a wall in order to basically fly around through levels. So you'll see me touch walls a lot.
Yeah, this level introduces blocks that you have to push with the dash.
So Fabraz, when you were creating this game, it looks like you were doing like a slow progression of like adding unique elements as you played the game.
Yeah, there's this concept with game development. I forgot exactly who in the team of Mario Galaxy mentioned it. It was for Mario Galaxy 2, but it's basically we kind of refer to it as the Mario Galaxy 2 approach, where you kind of want to introduce something new every 1-2 levels to kind of keep the player on their toes, bring in a new mechanic, and you kind of introduce it slowly at the start of the level and then ramp it up towards the end of it. And then you just kind of throw it out and move on to the next one. And that kind of keeps it constantly fresh until you then suddenly start combining old ones. And then you're like, oh my god, there's even more combinations possible. And we kind of tried to keep that approach going for the whole 100 levels.
That's crazy, and you have like so many ideas because there's so many levels.
There's also so many that we never ended up using.
How many levels?
We've always been tempted to like to patch in like the lost levels patch. Basically, there's levels that are all kind of crappy and we cut, but are still kind of fun to explore.
That would be really cool. Can we expect that in the Ultimate Slime Super Slime Edition?
Not for that one, but maybe in the future, who knows? Or maybe I'll just like release it for free, just for fun. The Super Slime Edition does bring in a new playstyle though, probably my favorite of all time, called Grandpa-san. Who can't jump?
Grandpa-san?
You can't jump with Grandpa-san? What do you do?
You can't jump.
What?
I'm confused. Like, how do you finish a level?
There's literally only one level that was designed for him that we like force a playstyle on for the player, and otherwise he's essentially completely useless.
You can't finish normal levels with Grandpa-san.
Oh, definitely not.
I'll find a way.
He must be playable in every level.
So I noticed there's a red bar in the top left corner of the screen. What is that referring to?
Oh, so at each level, you're inside of a giant worm, is the premise of this. Slimeson has been eaten by a giant worm and he's trying to escape. So each level, stomach acid will come after you, and that's what the meter refers to, is when the stomach acid starts to phase on screen. And when it does, the music gets all distorted and cool, too.
I guess in this run you're not going to see it too often. There's a couple of levels that actually force you to work with the acid because it'll raise up platforms. But in most cases, I think you're going to outrun it.
So, can you tell me a little bit how, like, you made the excellent soundtrack? Like, how you recruited people? Because it's, like, beautiful.
Oh yeah, gladly. That one was amazing. Basically, we were like, you know what? Let's contact some of our favorite chiptune composers, which happen to be 14 people. And let's see who answers back, who's interested to work with us. And that was like when we were still like very early on prototyping. All 14 said like, heck yes, we're done. After which we were just like, well, I guess it's a giant compilation.
No, it's really cool. Like, my favorite is like the boss stages. Like, they're just, I don't know, the whole soundtrack's just beautifully composed.
Yeah, it's there's just so much talent on that soundtrack. Kubi, Mega Neko, Adhesive Wombat, Tiasu, just so much good stuff. And what I really like is that we just gave them very simple instructions of like thematic vibe, and it all just kind of came together that it still feels unified, and it just kind of happened, which is fantastic.
Sorry if I'm quiet, I'm just focused.
That one took me a while when I first got to it. That's probably because I was trying to go too fast.
The multi-door room.
Yeah.
The or the what is it, the Pokemon gym room?
The Pokemon gym room.
Saffron City. I remember the first time I saw that crosshair effect, I realized what it was, but I also thought like something was about to attack me, and I was very confused.
Yeah, that one was an interesting challenge because a lot of times we use the spotlight, like when you start a level, to show you where you are. But we felt for the teleporters that would be way too like obtrusive. But yeah, I do agree. It does kind of look like you're about to get shot.
Just wait until those things start shooting like missiles at you.
Oh no. So what made you want to make a game like Slimeson as opposed to like a Mega Man or Zelda style game?
Well, we kind of like skip genres quite a bit. the two other big games that we released before were one a strategy title and another one was kind of a like an arcade title, High Score Hunter. And this one was really the first time where I did a genre that is probably one of my favorites. I just grew up with so many platformers. And I both love, you know, the old school approaches like Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, but also the new school, N++, Meat Boy. And so I just really wanted to explore that as much as possible. And I feel like especially now, a year after release with all the content patches, we've really kind of pushed the content of Slamson as far as we could, which I'm really happy about.
I think it's amazing all the stuff you guys have in this game, because not only do you have all the platforming levels, but there's like you have a horde mode Doom game inside Slamson.
Yep.
You have a kart racer and a shmup inside Slamson.
Yep. The initial idea was like, let's incentivize getting collectibles as much as possible. And so that started with playstyles obviously being the most important one, but then also clothing pieces, side art shaders, just as many shops as we could think of. But then we also were like, you know what, let's make it even more special that you can find like little hidden indie stars across the game. And when you find them, you unlock arcade coins for mini games. You can even play multiplayer. But that idea was both the coolest and dumbest thing we've ever done.
I can only imagine the
Because
difficulties that must
it-
have caused in development.
You have no idea. Like, it was fine for the PC version, but the console port, suddenly each one were like, oh, shit.
I was wondering about that after I got the Switch version. I thought, I remembered some more mini games in here.
Yep. We patched them in since, but there were some difficulties. That's the problem, because we treated those mini games as jam games, and so they weren't as solidly built as the main game itself, of course. And that never shows on PC, but it will start showing when you start porting.
I'm sad that the Super Slime Edition is coming to PC after the console version.
To be fair, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox users have waited a significantly longer time.
Aw. Take care of your speedrunning buddies.
It'll be there like 2 weeks later or so.
Ah, 2 weeks. Me and Nitro can't wait that long. So the world record holder is Nitro, and he's just insane.
Yeah, he has about 58 minutes.
58 minutes, which is like 17 minutes faster than mine. And there's a reason.
Yeah.
He actually found some pretty cool skips that he can get consistently where I can't. And they save a pretty significant amount of time.
Yeah, he abuses some of the room borders. So like where you've got the like undulating walls on left and right, you can actually, there's occasional moments where the collider isn't quite perfect, which he uses, which is pretty dope. But then there's also moments where like there's just, we designed a wall of bullets that was supposed to be absolutely impossible to pass through. I think I managed it.
Whoops, got past through it. I searched really hard in Blackbird's Kraken I found one. I found one wall I could abuse. That was it.
To be fair, with each content patch, we got better at not making that mistake.
What?
But on the other hand, we also totally decided right from the get-go that we're not going to patch them in the main game because it's kind of part of the fun, right?
So I don't know if you just saw that level I beat. I actually abused the wall and just went straight to the goalpost.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing it, the delay.
Yeah. All right,
What's your guys' opinion on that kind of stuff?
What do you mean?
With basically ways you find to abuse the game and the dev. Like, do you want the dev to patch these things or not?
The speedrunners? What do you say, Mancha?
I mean, that's also my profession, being that I'm a quality assurance tester, so I have very mixed feelings on it. Like, to me, it really depends on the skip and what exactly it entails. Like, Hyper Light Drifter is a good example. In a very early patch, we found a way to skip the developer's favorite boss. And so he redid some of the level designs so that we couldn't skip it in the same way. And I was fine with that. I mean, it really varies from person to person. I think that what really matters is that if the game is fun, people will play it regardless.
There's a big...
That became interesting with Cuphead, right?
That's true.
I would say more so with Mario Odyssey recently.
Yeah.
There's a big, they patched out a lot of things, and some people I think have had to resort to, like, refreshing their Switch to like factory settings.
Yeah, some people have had to buy the physical version and completely wipe their Switch in order to stay on 1.0, which is silly if you ask me.
Well, that's why it's nice on Steam. You have the you can implement a rollback feature, which I think is what they did with Cuphead, right?
Oh yeah, it's really easy. I think with Steam games you can just like right-click on it and then adjust to a different version, right? I could be wrong.
No, I believe you're correct.
Yeah, we did something similar with a boss that comes up later, so I'll probably talk about it more in detail there. But that was also one where like you could totally skip the entire boss with it, but the way you did that was so clever that we then slightly redesigned the boss to allow for that while still being a bit of a challenge.
I like the boss skips.
Both the heart and the uvula, right, are pretty much the best ones.
Oh yeah. The music in Uvula and Heart are great. Unfortunately, we don't hear them very long in the speedrun.
So another interesting property that we didn't quite talk about with this playstyle that you're using, Kawaii-san, is that the floatiness also leads to the fact that if you bounce off things, you will bounce off them significantly stronger, which you definitely have seen across a couple of levels now already.
Right.
But on top of that, we also use something called corner bumps. Basically, when the player collides at the corner of a tile, so that it's just not a full momentum stop, we actually bump the player slightly up. And with Kawaii-san, that slight bump suddenly becomes a gigantic jump as well.
Which helps. Oh, should I wonder if I should try this skip. Alright, let's try it. Oh, wow, I got it first try.
Nice!
Hopefully I can finish it. No, I don't think I can. Because this red door, I had to get the guy all the way over there. Oh wait, no, we're good.
Nice!
First try.
Yeah, the mechanic introduced here is that certain sections of the level will have keys, which obviously unlock some of the doors.
So you're not supposed to go where I went in that previous stage?
As you can tell, Giygas kind of went off of the screen bounds and then reappeared at the bottom. No big deal.
Which, it saves a significant amount of time for that stage.
Yeah. And the platforms in this level and the next few, they swap places, I believe, when you do the phase, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
I still can't get over Sheeple's sequel with that, I can't even run it yet. I'm still trying to get over it.
Yeah, it's a good one though. We really liked how it turned out. Basically, so the blocks in these levels, right? Every time you morph, the blocks switch between solid and non-solid, and then later on in the levels we introduce ones that also will switch between non-solid and red, or non-solid and green. But then in the newest content patch, we introduced a new playstyle called Red Shadow, and that guy, whenever you dash, you switch between a red and a green state, meaning that depending on which state you're in, you can then either phase through a red wall or a green wall. And when we then combine that with these blocks, then it starts getting really difficult.
My mind.
Yes, that's how my mind is when I played it. I can't even adjust to it. Even, I'm still adjusting the marble. Just like it's...
Yeah, marble is our Sonic Sam. We're like, let's take that momentum and see where we can go with it.
Yeah. Marble is another playable character. There's a ton of unlockable playable characters in this game, all with slightly different abilities or physics applied to them.
So, there's 2 DLC packages. One of them is Blackbird's Kraken, which introduces like a submarine playstyle. Oh crap. And then DLC 2 is Sheeple's sequel and introduces 2 playable characters that you really have no choice. You have to play as them.
Yeah, the levels are designed for them.
Yeah, and one of them is Red Shadow, which you'll see later in this main base campaign. It's kind of like Red Shadow is kind of like Shadow Mario, where he follows you around. And then Marble is, yeah, he's basically Sonic. He's a large marble, and his momentum just prevents him from stopping very easily. But just jumping with him is hard for me too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. We launched the game with 100 levels and then 100 New Game Plus versions of it, of course. But now we have 160 in the game.
This level looks familiar.
Doesn't look like Donkey Kong at all. Look at these red barrels, I can definitely go through them.
Where's that hammer item when you need it?
So in the upper left there, you put some red barrels and you can totally go through them. I don't know if that was a mistake.
I think we just placed them as a static ones and never added a collider, so yes.
No one will ever go over here. We're good.
The one thing you learn as a dev is that is never true.
Oh, I know.
No, right, as QA, exactly. Yeah.
So when are you gonna start running this matcha?
When I find time.
You have plenty of time, don't you?
When I get good.
When you get good?
That's a correct answer.
Something you ran Iconoclast, had time to run that, something.
Occasionally.
While porting the game over to Xbox and PlayStation, I had to playtest this game so often that I started giving myself challenges of how to play it. So I have now successfully beaten it one-handed and in monochrome. Which
Oh my
pretty
goodness.
good.
I don't know. Time to contact half coordinated.
I don't think we've ever talked about any of the color options, which I guess doesn't matter since you're playing with the default palette. But this game features color sliders and colorblind modes, so you can customize everything.
It's very new too with the Sheeple sequel DLC. I believe it was released with.
Yeah, it's basically, we launched the game with colorblind options because we knew right away that this game relies very much on color coding. White is neutral, red hurts, green is phaseable. So we wanted to make sure that people that have colorblind, like we basically accommodate for 3 of the colorblind, most common colorblind types, that they can still play the game. But then we patched in a hue slider where you can now literally change the blue color, the red color, and the green color to anything else you want. And now in Super Slam Edition, we even by default have something on called dynamic colors, and now it by default automatically will change to a new color palette every world.
Yeah, I tried like a bright pink and bright green, and it kind of hurt my eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I did agonize over this particular palette for a long time to find the right one that just is like a nice blend of unique, but also works nice with mechanics.
RGB.
We also actually have an ice cream option too. Where
Ice cream?
It kind of takes the harshness out of it a little bit.
You said ice cream?
No,
Oh,
ice
ice
cream.
Oh,
We're
I
in
have-
ice cream mode too now.
I'm in ice cream mode? No way.
I want ice cream mode. What is that? You just get an ice cream cone every time you complete a level?
Is that in the next DLC?
I would never stop playing.
Yep.
This level introduces conveyor belts.
So how many indie stars make cameos in Slime Song?
I think with all the content packs, we have like nearly 15. A couple of cool ones recently came out, like Q and U from Nycra, Azam from the Grand Legacy, Holly from Monster Prom. A couple of cool ones came out.
Oh, that, yeah, I remember Monster Prom. I like the noise that the balloons make when you step on them.
Little squeak.
It's the little things that matter.
Yeah, all of the sound effects are designed by a guy called Britt Brady, which by its own already is a fantastic name. But yeah, he making the sounds for Slime Song was hilarious. He quite literally used bananas and yogurts and just like mashed them near a mic.
That's awesome.
Audio must be so much fun sometimes.
Yeah, Folly work in general, I could imagine would be a lot of fun.
So I don't know if this is a weird setting because I noticed this on my computer as well, but in these scrolling levels, it's a little like fuzzy.
Yeah, so we had a couple of people on low-end computers complain about performance problems with scrolling levels, and so we automatically half the resolution.
Okay.
But one can turn that off in the settings.
Gotcha. I was like, why is my computer not working that well?
Yeah, yeah, we don't hide it well enough. There's so many games that do it really cleverly, like Mario Odyssey. Every time you move the camera quite fast, it applies a motion blur and literally halves resolution, so that there is no lag. In our case, it's a little more obvious.
I need more motion blur.
Yeah.
Oops. I think I'm doing pretty well for being pretty sleepy. Oops. Never mind.
Don't jinx it.
You had to say something.
That door was important.
Life has many doors, Giygas.
Stop messing with my mind. So what's going on with the in-game timer? Because I feel like it's different when I approach a boss fight. Is that anything you have any knowledge of? Like, I feel like it changes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. We're good.
Live Q&A session. Let's go.
Well, this is the first time we've actually spoken. Other than
Yeah, it's true. We've always just chatted.
other than our risque Twitter DMs. So what's the future for?
It's kind of fun to see the difference between the timer in game and on the stream, because the in-game one doesn't count the loading time.
Right. I'm assuming that's your chair, because I thought it was the game.
I think it might have actually been the game.
Okay. I love the sound effects then. So what's the future for, is there anything after the Super Slime Edition, or are we...
We might slow down at that point. Let's see. It kind of depends on how those two consoles perform. If they do as well as the Switch version did, then we might do another patch. Let's see. But we're also kind of now we worked on the game for 14 months, released it, and then we've been working on it since for another 12 months. So we're also kind of
Tired.
excited to work on the next project.
Slime Sound HD. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is the
We
brain.
introduced a sixth color.
A 6 color. Oh, I forgot I can just stand under here. So to avoid the brain's lightning, I can just stand under the platform where the door is resting on. Isn't that kind of cheating?
You just gotta figure it out. That's your reward. One of my favorite things to do is for the New Game Plus levels, we remix the levels quite a bit, but we also add some new visuals to the bosses.
Oh, I remember.
And the brain has a tattoo that says "Mama's boy."
Doesn't the intestine have like a mustache?
Yep. And the heart has the Gurren Lagann sunglasses.
So does Giygas just have to wait for each phase of the boss to then move to the next area? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he has to go into the square so that it deactivates the cannon that shoots the brain. And once the brain is hit,
Oh,
he
okay.
goes to the next one.
Yeah, this is more on rails. This boss is more on rails.
Yep. Yeah, this one you can't really skip much. The next two you could definitely can.
Why would you want to skip this music, though?
The music, oh my god.
True.
The boss music is so good.
Nice dodge. I have to ask, may I buy this soundtrack somewhere?
Yes.
Where?
Band? No, you
So-
can on Steam, right?
Yeah, we sell it on Steam, but we also have it on iTunes. We can also just stream it on Spotify. And we even actually have a vinyl that comes in like a translucent green vinyl, which is awesome.
Well, I guess I don't need my next paycheck.
I bought the soundtrack on Steam just to record a GDQ submission video.
Nice.
So on 302 Cross Crabs, I found you can go in the upper right corner and skip the part, but it's so hard. Like, I saw Nitro didn't do it, but I figured it out, but it's like, there's a really small window. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's one of those bullet walls I was talking about that you can technically dash through, but how, I don't know.
I've done it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's not first try stuff. I just want to see how many places I could go through. I just had to beat Nitro's time, and then I was like, I can't.
Hey, well, you're world record holder in backwards tracking, so.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one. I know I can get it
Oh, yeah.
down to a 20-minute.
But you already decreased it significantly, like with twice or 3 times in a week, which was amazing.
I don't know, man. It must have been the caffeine. So right now I don't have any. Please don't. Alright, we're good.
So this missiles, they had a even more intense turn radius up until like a week before release. But at one point, I think it was essentially all the testers got together, were like, dude.
Why?
Did you just eat a mushroom?
Yes. It could be a mushroom. Those arrows that you can, I guess, consume will change Slime's size. And
Yeah.
I noticed the physics are a lot more fun when he's small.
I think it's actually because it is the same physics as the main one, but with a tiny little collider.
I just feel like
Yeah,
I'm...
we initially even had the idea of like stacking them up so you could like downsize yourself 5 times.
I need a playground, a debug room with these.
Mm-hmm.
So if I let all these Tetris blocks fall to the bottom of the screen, do they all disappear appropriately?
Yes.
I guess we should have done that.
No. Yes. So you'll notice like hidden caverns in some levels in the stage before this one. There's secret areas with like characters that you can populate your little town with. Slump Town.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the indie game like stars that cameo in this game.
Who's Jar from?
And it gives you a nice sense of populating the town of survivors. So, because you're within a worm, there's essentially a whole town of other critters that got eaten that realize, you know what, we can never escape, so we might as well make do. And that town is basically where you go shopping
And eat ramen.
upgrades and eat ramen.
Which game is Jar from? The frog.
Which one?
Jar the frog.
Jar is actually just our own unique character, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think actually the origin was because, if you couldn't tell by my absolute lack of accent, I'm from Germany.
No.
And there's this like idea that you put a frog in a jar with a little ladder, and if depending on how high he climbs up that ladder, it says something about how the weather is going to be tomorrow. And so that's why, like, it's a frog in a jar, hence the frog is named Jar.
That sounds terrible. Why would you do that to a frog?
Well, it's just like every time I tell a story, I'm like, it's not that much weirder than a groundhog.
Yeah, that's what it made me think of, was Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I have a moment to pop in with a quick donation.
Sure.
We got $50 from the Beast 721. Says Calathon is a lot of fun, and so is raising money for Direct Relief. Thanks for putting on a great event, everyone. And remember, folks, we're still sitting pretty far away from that Hyperlight Drifter incentive to play soccer, and that run is coming up right after Slime Son. So let's get those donations in. We're getting close to that all-time high for Calathon.
That was close. Oh, wrong door. I'm so hungry, Mancha. I need food.
I don't know what to tell you.
Just feed him while he's playing.
I mean, you could go to
Feed me.
town and go to the ramen shop.
I could.
You have the power.
Are we talking about the real ramen shop or like the ramen shop in Slumtown? Because I saw one. Both.
I mean, it could be both. First one, then the other. For anyone wondering at home, there is a zoom in function if you want a closer view of what you are doing when you play this game.
It definitely helps you when you play the game, too.
Yeah. For speedrun perspective, though, it's easier to see everything at once.
Yeah, that was a big idea with the
Whee!
static rooms.
So much easier.
Yeah, you can adjust that zoom to like how much you want it to be zoomed in the settings.
Oh, I thought there was only one option. Really close.
Yeah. But the idea with the static rooms was kind of because there's a lot of platforms I've played in my life where I felt that a lot of deaths were because the camera moves in a way that I didn't expect it to. And because this game relies so much on pixel precision, we made the decision, you know what, let's make the camera static, so there's no confusion there. and you can see you can read and the level's layout really quickly before the stomach acid comes in. All basically about readability and stuff.
That's what it's for some reason. So I run a lot of Game Boy games as well, and I have trouble running some of them because the character takes so much of the screen, and I can't see what else is coming on screen. So that's why speedrunning with like that close up is really difficult. But it's cool
I
that
guess it's almost more guesswork of just what's coming up.
yeah, pretty much memorizing everything.
Hey, that's how we can implement
right.
blind mode.
Blind mode.
Blind race mode. Just we don't know the level layout and it's always zoomed in.
I guess that is my next challenge, right? I played it one-handed, I played it monochrome, now blindfold.
Or 100% zoom.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna help our QA sessions.
Oh help! Oh, oh.
You just affected Muncha so much. So now, Muncha, you have to tell the devs to incorporate a zoom in for Shovel Knight,
I can do my best.
and you must QA it.
I mean, I brought this on myself, so.
Yacht Club, are you listening?
I just tried out, what is it, King of Cards at PAX East. It's gonna be excellent.
Thank you.
I like Kawaii-san is so cool. I'm just like skipping and destroying all the levels.
Yeah, it's super satisfying both to discover but also to watch.
When designing the hazards in
Whoops.
Slime-san, did you give any was there any preference toward trying to keep things like realistic as far as realism goes for what a giant worm can eat? But like, you know, the things in the previous level, like, are those lasers or are they some other type of hazard that actually has like a biological basis inside the worm?
Oh yeah, no, we, as you can clearly tell, we went for accuracy here. You know, also the story itself, we wanted to be something that people can relate to, like a day-to-day story.
I've totally been eaten before by a giant worm.
I think we all feel that way sometimes.
That's an ad. Don't you just hate when you feel like you've been eaten by a giant worm?
It must be a German thing.
Exactly.
Is there some German story where, like James and the Giant Peach, except you get eaten by a giant worm?
Right. Yeah. No. Well, really, the concept actually just, I don't know where the worm came from, but we just wanted to have a slime character, you know, which are usually the losers in games. Like you play any RPG, it's the first like monster you'll kill. And so we figured out like what kind of story can we tell where we kind of just lose right at the start. So that's why like the title screen, you see Slime-san running from the worm, you hit start and you get eaten. Like you start the game, you lose.
It's a good way.
Technically, if you never start the game, you've always won.
So what you're saying is best ending is like 0-second speedrun.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, I have world record.
Wow, I've never seen that before. The you'll see it soon with the delay. The green projectile went through the red wall.
Wouldn't be a marathon
yeah.
without it.
That's never happened before.
Yep, I didn't. Look, as long as the game doesn't crash, I'm happy.
All right, so how do I make the game crash?
I mean, I have some ideas, but
How many objects on the screen can I have at one point?
A lot. Our test room looked like a mess.
test rooms in development are some of my favorite things because you don't know what to expect, and then you wander into a room that has 60 different enemies bouncing off the walls.
Yep. Yep. I have a couple of good gifts I could post.
Please do.
I will be waiting patiently in the Discord. I like that one GIF where the rope kept spinning infinitely and then it slowed down after many minutes.
Yes. No, that one's great, and it like literally creates this weird, almost beautiful pattern. Glitch art is the best. Yeah, I just saw that in the stream, but because of the whole floatiness that Kawaii-san has as a playstyle, what you've seen a lot already is that you dash down into the floor, which then causes a little bounce, but then still allows you to jump afterwards too, so you get extra vertical height.
Yeah, it's great for my purposes. Sometimes I need a little height to get somewhere.
I guess that's kind of one of the more unconventional things in Slam Sans platforming anyway, is how we treat jump. Because like, there's this philosophy of something called a coyote jump, basically, which is that if you walk off a platform, we actually give you like an extra second while you're in the air where you can still jump, because it just feels better that way. Because otherwise you'll oftentimes be walking right off the edge and feel like you should be able to jump but can't.
Good old Donkey
But we
Kong country.
essentially have coyote time on the entire time, as in like if you don't jump and walk off, you can jump at any point in the air still. Which creates pretty different level design.
Coyote?
Yeah, it's based from Willy Coyote from Looney Tunes, where like he stays in the air when he walks off a cliff.
I always was thinking of Donkey Kong Country.
The
Yeah,
roll
they
off
use
jump.
it too. Pretty much
But you have
any
to roll
game
there, right? You can't
worth
just
its
walk.
salt has got some coyote time in it.
Yeah.
Alright, we're approaching the heart shortly. Oop. Whoops. Whoops. So what's
I love with the delay that I hear the whoops, and then a little bit later I see it.
Alright, here's the heart. I love it. It's really hard to fight casually,
Yep.
but it won't last very long speedrun wise.
Yeah, this one has a really good skill.
Except when I messed it up.
Wait, basically this guy has 3 phases, and in all of them you're supposed to have the hand slam on the floor and then ride it up to his face, and then he slams himself. But he can essentially only like use the hands to go up there once and then stay up there the entire time.
I'll get it. Oh, shoot, I messed it up. Oh well. It's not as hard as, okay. I was gonna say the Uvula boss. This, well,
I found the hard boss to be up there actually in difficulty. The New Game Plus one is probably one of the hardest levels for me.
alright, let's try this one more time. There we go.
Nice.
Gosh.
I think it's very kind of you that you let the stream enjoy the music.
Yeah, the music's beautiful. I love the song.
I think this one is by Inverse.
I'm not getting it. Alright. Maybe I should just beat him normal.
Nah, never give up.
Never give up.
Trust your instincts.
Trust my instinct. Alright, I'm going for it again. Thanks for the pep talk.
Use the force, Giygas.
We'll just beat him normally.
Yeah, all right, chat. I get it, chat. What a heartbreaker. Play with your feelings.
It's okay. You can do it. We believe in you. My breakfast burrito believes in you.
There's this weird echo in my head going on right now. Like, I thought I got the voices out of my head.
That's just for Braz.
No, it sounds like one of those weird voices that talk to you in movies. Oh, I beat him. Okay, we're good.
Nice.
I really like this guy that you get to ride. His tongue sticking out.
Yeah. Inspired a little bit by Yoshi's Island dog.
Poochie.
Poochie,
The
yeah.
question is, would the tongue damage you if you hit it? It is red.
It's Slime Sun's curse. Can never really be comfortable with a dog.
I mean, how does slime anatomy work anyway? If you lose part of your body, does it just come back?
Yeah, I think as a local slime expert, I'd say that's how it works. Like, you just constantly regenerate more slime.
So this I lost my train of thought. Never mind. This is a maze level that you made.
Yeah, we call it the treehouse level. Basically, it's the only level where you are not allowed to die in any of the 4 rooms. You basically have to, you can go back and forth between the 4 rooms. They're not like linear as the other ones are. And you basically have to unlock all the doors without dying. Continue.
I went in the wrong one. It's really hard to memorize 400 stages. Oh, that's right. Okay, we're good. So has Slime Son have been doing well for you for Braz? There's so much merchandise surrounding this game.
Yeah, no, it's done really well. PC did well thanks to our humble bundle debut launch, but then the Switch really was like the breakout success for us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's why we're also excited to bring it to the other consoles, get the console trifecta done.
It seems like the Switch is pretty good to some indie devs.
Yeah, for sure. We got a lot of love there. And now we're really excited. Like, we just announced that we're teaming up with Limited Run to make some retail copies. Which for like devs is always kind of a dream, just to have your game physically on a shelf.
I'm gonna make sure I buy all the copies in my local Target.
I don't know if yeah. Are you familiar with Limited Run Games, Muncha?
No.
Oh, it's a site that makes physical copies for like games that are digital only.
Right.
Yep.
That's really cool. Like they just did Momodoro 4,
Oh, okay.
but I was unable to get it. I assume it sold out too fast.
Yeah,
did-
so the Switch ones are most likely, including ours, going to be on a pre-order system. So so that will hopefully not be a danger.
You're not sure yet if it'll be a pre-order?
I'm 95% sure.
But are you sure?
What do you want from me, man?
Sorry, this is just normal me. Oh man. No, when I went to college, I'd go grocery shopping with my best friends, my roommates, and we would abuse pronouns as much as possible. Well, it'd be obnoxious, so they'd be like, "You want this or that?" And then we'd just repeat that over and over again and be super obnoxious. That one? No, this one.
When will
Trying
then
a
be
little
now?
bit of,
Stop it. You, oh. If you couldn't tell, something like that would really annoy my ex-girlfriend. The relaxation room.
everybody needs a little break.
Funky Forest. Oh wait, no, it's the room before Funky Forest. It's a little break if you know which one to do.
This is gonna be a really hard question for you guys, but do you have any idea what game the barrels were inspired from?
Donkey Kong Country? Maybe? No.
Yeah, yep.
I might be wrong.
No.
Where are the frogs from? Germany?
That one I think we just kind of thought of ourselves. We wanted an enemy type that can change color, and we figured one of the clearest signs would be whenever they land after a jump.
How did
That's
he...
what's kind of our philosophy in general, is that because we're introducing so many new mechanics all the time, we were like, you know what, let's come up with some couple of new like unique ones for sure. But it's also fine to be inspired and borrow some ideas from other games, as long as we put our own twist to it.
How did he make the frog sound? The sound designer.
I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
Same way he made the banana one. He just went out, he got some frogs, he put them in a bowl, and you know.
And squished him.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm waiting for PETA to
Gently,
tweet at
gently.
us.
No frogs were harmed.
No, just, you know, a little poke for a little... Then you move on with your day.
But there are also several fart sounds this time, so
Where's the fart sound?
you know, just something to think about. I think the cannons, when you're really close to the cannons, they all have like a.
I was gonna say, can we route all farts?
I am 14, I need to know more. Oh crap, alright, we're good. Oh, in the Sheeple sequel, I really like how you did like these blocks when you try to jump on them, they move away.
Yeah,
And then
they're the fake out blocks.
as in I'm not really in like. I'm like, wow, am I playing Super Mario Kaizo?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I want to be the slam.
I want. There probably is one.
And what I like about those in particular is that they don't exist in the main game, not even in the first content pack. So at that point, you really don't expect them.
Yeah, I was very shocked. I was like, I hate you, Fabras.
So this one is actually one of those levels I feel like is almost harder as Kawaii. Trying to avoid those bullets.
Probably. I wouldn't know. I haven't played as anyone else in a long time, except Marble and Red Shadow.
The water movement, we're really happy how it ended up, because it at the beginning felt kind of crappy, but then once we realized we should just completely rely on the dash as a movement in the water, it started feeling really nice.
Does the dash speed up in-game time?
Yeah, ever so slightly. I think 20% faster.
So does that affect the in-game timer?
It does not, just like the slowdown. So you can totally use that to your advantage.
Okay. Important questions I should have asked you previously.
I just fully expect now a BK run to be at like 18 minutes or something. I should have asked about the dash sooner.
I don't know about 18 minutes. We already got BK down to what, 8 deaths or something?
No. Yeah, I was surprised he didn't pick that one as the run here actually for Califan.
Mancha?
I wanted more game. I like game.
Yeah. More game is good.
You like game?
I like game.
I am slime. I platform. I go fast. It's good. I play for you, yes?
Are you not Russian?
Da.
I really like these levels where you have to like hug the walls
Yeah.
and then go from like under it to the other side.
I'm trying to remember the name we gave it. We actually teach it in the dojo tutorials. It's like stalactite jump or something.
I don't know if I've seen it in other games, unless you have and you used it as inspiration.
No, I think that it totally came because of this whole weird like jump gets reset when you touch the walls concept.
I know they tried, like I used to play Mario Maker a lot, and I know they occasionally will do it in something like that. But I wouldn't mind you making a game with that primarily focused on stalactite jumping. That would be really cool. DLC 3.
Yeah. We already have a theme for it, so we would be ready.
Oops.
We'll never run out of ideas, that's for sure.
You're already ready for DLC 3?
Oh yeah. No, we have an entire design doc for it. It's just a question whether we actually will take the time for it or not. Because the game doesn't have enough content.
Oh no, certainly not.
I'm waiting for like 2 more playable characters.
Yep.
Or are you just like messing with us and the DLC 3 is just Grandpa San?
Slams and walking simulator.
Grandpa San does his taxes.
That's the mini game jam for DLC 3. Grandpa does his taxes. Alright, we're good.
And never has a career of a game development company plummeted as quickly. Whatever happened to those Slamson guys? Ah, they made a tax game.
Hey, we have accounting for VR.
That's true.
I mean, edutainment games are still a thing, right?
That's true.
I mean, at the very
But
least,
I
it would
still
help
feel
me.
I mean, a farming simulator became one of the biggest games in the world for a while, so.
True. True.
Trucker simulator.
So basically, one of you guys will be this world record holder of filing his taxes the fastest.
And I clutch the 1099.
Depends on if we can do itemized deductions or not.
That's a separate category.
I want to remind folks, if you're enjoying the banter, consider donating, because we are still pretty far away from some of our incentives, and we are really close to hitting a new all-time high, only a couple $1,000s away, so all the money goes to direct relief, and every single dollar helps.
We want your free money.
Sub money goes to direct relief too.
It goes to direct relief, and it provides comedic relief.
Remember, a $5 donation is a vote for taxes, apparently.
There's no taxes
That's
of charity.
That's not gonna work.
Anti-tax.
Wait, I got this. All of your donations are tax deductible.
There we go.
Ooh.
Brought it all back.
Not gonna lie, I don't really like these levels. There's a couple in the future that are even less fun. But I give you congrats for Braz for introducing a new idea every few stages.
Yep. And some are thrown away and probably for the better. In the second content patch, you collect bugs because like the entire game is kind of a meta narrative of a character becoming self-aware that they're an NPC, so they recode themselves as a villain. And the bugs you collect, you can spend in an art gallery where you can actually see like sketches of all of our level design stuff. But I'm really happy we managed to get in because like there's just papers and papers and papers.
Whoops. We're good. We're good. We haven't even gotten to the hard levels yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost at World 5. Almost there.
World 5 goes by pretty quick though.
No,
At least it feels like it.
it's all the stress sweating.
Oh. There we go. I like this guy, Heavy Heave guy.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a slime?
I guess it's just a really fat worm. Because that's
I'm
also
dead.
totally normal that all of mama worms,
dead.
baby worms are within her.
So what's my worm buddy's name with the tongue hanging out?
With our naming convention of the little bird on Santa called Birdie, I'd probably say Doggy.
Doggy?
But probably my my greatest the greatest thing I've ever done in my life is come up with the name Kitsune Miku as a fox name.
What's the name again for the fox?
Kitsune Miku.
Ah,
So like
okay.
Kitsune for fox,
Oh.
Japanese, and then Hatsune. But then totally not writing him as anything related to that. So like he talks like a
Japanese idol.
Midwest farmer.
Did you
I think that's
ever?
constantly what I also always love when I see like a let's play of Slamsan. Still, is that the moment people go to Slumtown and see how big like the explorable hub town is, that's usually when they're like, oh my god, this game is so much more than I thought it was. Because we just, I think, have 80 characters you can talk to.
It's not enough content.
Yeah.
Oops, I went on the wrong side. So this is the uvula.
Who, if you look really closely and he opens his mouth, has another uvula within it with also arms.
I like it. Oh wow, okay. I did it wrong.
Seems like appropriate timing to say that Bash Prime donated $5, saying Giygas feels really taxed by these difficult levels.
Please,
He's also
more
sitting
puns.
right behind the couch.
More puns, Bash. So we're gonna. Oh,
So a good trick that you can
Bye.
actually use here is you can technically ride up his right side while he goes up. So you don't even have to do the platforming segments.
yeah. For some reason. Sorry. For some reason, when you go in that cannon up to the second phase, you have a lot of momentum.
Yep.
Is it just carried momentum, or why is that? Like the screen scroll?
Yeah, I think it's just so that it's enough that you get past the green platforms. So it's like an extra amount of distance. Because technically these are not the normal barrels as the ones in all the other levels. They just go until you hit something, while in this case it kind of has to stop. Don't you guys wish like you'd had like a little tooth that you could pull out, which is like a laser?
I would love that.
Oh, I accidentally defeated him.
Perfect.
Whoops.
So, during third phase when he's riding down, his
Yep.
last hit point is exposed and you can just dash it to it. Avoiding third phase altogether.
So that was the thing that in the beta, you could do all three points almost within like 20 seconds, and then we decided, you know what, that's kind of cool, but we're just gonna stagger it a little bit.
So what's the story with this song for 5-1? It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Battletoads Double Dragony?
Oh yeah?
Maybe?
I've never actually played.
It's like a lab
Battletoads.
theme.
Hmm.
Like I'm gonna do scientific experiments and make chimeras.
Now, is the flashing texture on the ground, does that indicate anything different for that collision, or is that just a visual effect?
It's just visual effect to kind of ramp up all of it for the last world.
So why is there clowns inside the worm?
You're asking about the clowns when there's a ramen shop.
Yep.
Yes. Stop making me hungry. Do you like clowns for Braz? Is that the story?
Oh no, I find him terrifying.
I hope I can execute this level. There we go.
Well done.
Here's Red Shadow.
Good old fella who becomes playable in the second content patch.
Shadow Mario. Whoop. Oh, we're good.
Yeah, that one is fun because a lot of players, when they first encounter Red Shadow, they think they have to like outrun him. Well, that's quite literally impossible, and it's actually much more strategic. You just gotta memorize the exact move, like path you take.
You can't outrun Red Shadow?
No, you can't. That's how, well, most people assume that you can at the beginning, and so they play really fast. But that actually could almost be like a problem. Yeah.
I like how Red Shadow says, "I'll dash too. You're really fast." What did he just say? Play Red Shadow's theme song?
Yeah.
I'm sure he has one now in Sheeple.
Yeah, he's a little bit like the villain in the Incredibles. As in, like, he's kind of your super fan, but kind of a douche because of it. Oh yeah, and as the chat is pointing out, Shadow the Slime Sand. Shadow is really edgy. Actually, he's gonna have his own game where he has 2 guns.
Where he has what? 2 jumps?
2 guns.
Oh, 2.
And a motorcycle.
Exactly.
I like that Red Shadow went and found his own little bird buddy too, to be just
Oh, yeah,
like
of
Slime
course.
Song.
This part is hard. Yep, that's hard. Come on, no. Alright, let's try this with 1. Alright, we're good. For Braz, have you played Dropsy?
Dropsy? Yes, a little bit.
A little bit.
And I've also talked a little bit to Jay. He's a super nice guy.
Were you scared to play Dropsy?
If I wouldn't have known the dev, I would have probably never played it. But it's freaking amazing. Maybe the only clown that I both hate love.
I was
He just
talking.
wants to fuck people.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I was talking to someone last night, and she's like, "I like point-and-click adventure games." I'm like, "But Dropsy? Oh, I hate clowns." Like, but Dropsy hugs people. He's so nice.
Granted, it's not the kind of face and general person you want to get hugged by, but
Aw,
poor Dropsy.
poor Dropsy. Whoops. Oh, we're just gonna heave. That's never happened before. So after I went into the heave-ho guy, there was a little green shadow trail that was still connected. No, 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 no. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Alright, this guy isn't... Oh, I didn't know I could do that. That's never happened before. I like...
World exclusive. You guys how you found.
Alright, can I make it? This guy's a jerk. This guy always mess ups my run.
The little worm.
Yeah, we're good now. There's Red Shadow's Undercycle.
Alright, you can make 130. Come on.
Oh, are we that behind?
I think it's manageable. Gotta do Mama in first try.
Oh, Mama first try. I didn't feel like doing the rest of the level, so I skipped it.
So I saw some people in the chat were pointing out that the Harry Potter game had a Flappy Bird section. So you're welcome. So does this game.
I don't know, the Flappy Bird sections are pretty tough.
I like the sound effect.
No. Oh, gosh. Avian anger. So this level's not very like easy. This is World 5 supposed to be like really challenging for players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's gonna be the final stretch.
Like this level in particular, I find really hard
Mm-hmm.
because you have to use the frog to do that, or maybe I'm doing it wrong.
No, it's right there.
Because I always have the stomach acid come after me in this one. It's just so challenging.
I think like a year ago or something, you also did a Apple run, right?
Yeah. I was like,
What
let's.
was that, like 2 hours? 2 hours something?
That was a really bad run. It can definitely be improved. But it was fun to try.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I the only one that's done it?
I think so. And pretty much anybody who just does the any percent.
I was gonna do a new game plus one, but those levels, man, they're hard.
Oh yeah.
I might have to set aside like 5 hours.
Yeah, New Game Plus was really the one where like we knew that at that point we don't have to make sure that it's still completable for most people. Like this is gonna be, we don't pull any punches anymore.
Hard mode.
Because because the rest of Slime Slam is really easy.
Right. Well, not this level.
But yeah, for people who don't know, basically there's collectibles, 1 apple in each room. And in the speedrun mode that we have an apple run where basically you cannot proceed to the next room without having to collect the apple. And usually these apples are either out of the way or in a place that are like really hard to pull off. Oh no.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yep.
Yeah, that level,
Glad you
man.
pulled it off.
That level's always a high stress level.
I think we bring it back as a remix level actually in Content Patch 2.
Okay.
Where you have to play it with the spotlight on.
You're evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've only beaten 1 EX level, the first one, and it took me a long time.
Longer than you care to admit.
Yeah. It might have taken, I think, 26 minutes or 46 minutes. I can't remember.
Oh my god.
For one level. I was like, I'm good at video games. I can do this.
I hold the world record in one of the runs here. I'm good. What made you specialize in the Blackbird one?
I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah. Is it because it's more bite-sized? Because it's only 25 levels?
It's easier to optimize a speedrun when it's shorter. Hence why I don't have like the best time in any percent. Really.
Longer runs can be a little taxing, even though the longest run I do is just under 2 hours, which by some people's standards is short. Like, the longer you go, the less you think about, like, how can I optimize all the movement. Like, I get fatigued, so I understand.
There can be
Right.
mental fatigue and stuff,
Oh yeah, I can totally imagine that.
especially when you're trying to optimize something and you're saving seconds or minutes or anything, and then the longer the run, it's just harder. There's usually between first and second place in a lot of long runs, there's usually a larger discrepancy. Unless you're talking about really optimized runs like Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time.
Right. Yeah, because I imagine you don't want to, like when you're 40 minutes in, you don't really want to restart because you did one mistake.
Right.
This is one of my favorite tracks just because it goes so wild towards the end of it.
It's a little stressful. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Come on, little green dude. There we go. I got smushed by the poop.
Well, that stinks.
Also, things you can say while playing Slam Slam, but should probably not say out of context.
Ah, the poop.
I got smashed by the poop. Now, how do you guys think those sound effects are?
I don't know. Did you help?
I
If
just
you
have,
ever
like, one extra credit under sound effects.
if you ever need help with sound effects, send me a Twitter DM.
Just walked past the knock on them.
Whoop, whoop. Okay, we're good. Whoops. Nope, nope, nope. Really? Okay. We're on... I can't even read the name of the level, but it's a scrolling level. 515. Automatic
Yep.
something. Good job on having the resolution for browse. I'm sorry? Finish up in 2 minutes? I'm gonna try. The boss fight takes about 2 minutes. The final boss.
Yeah, my guess would be this will be another 6 minutes, maybe. That's one of my favorite things. We have this special hidden move where if you jump right after a dash, you super jump, which basically gives you extra horizontal momentum. And it's indicated by Slamson basically spinning and leaving this trail behind. But if you do that while landing onto a ladder, then while climbing the ladder, you will keep staying in that rotating state, which just looks amazing.
This one's really hard. 517 free fall.
Mm-hmm. It's all the levels where you start seeing not a lot of white tiles anymore. So you know it's getting real.
Sure. So after 517 is over, I'll finish, okay? We're unfortunately running a little over time, so we won't be able to see the end, unfortunately.
You got so close. Slamson was almost free.
Yep. But sorry about that. We were almost there.